There once was a town that worked so hard, there was just no time for play. But that all changed on this one particular day.
Six Flags is the largest amusement park company in the world, with 25 properties in North America alone, and over the years have gained a mixed reputation. Today it's known as the discount chain of parks when comparing it to Universal, Disney, SeaWorld, and Cedar Fair. But it wasn't always this way. How did it get there? When did it get there? And what does the future hold for this titan in the amusement park industry?
Six Flags! More fun!
The Six Flags Corporation was born in 1957 with the Great Southwest Corporation, and they started construction on their first park, Six Flags Over Texas, in 1960 to be opened the next year. The park was then sold 5 years later to a subsidiary of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and these new owners had a lot of capital for expansion. Six Flags would open Six Flags Over Georgia in 1967 and Six Flags Over Mid-America in 1971. In 1975, the company acquired Astroworld. 1977 saw the addition of Great Adventure, and in 1979, Magic Mountain came aboard. 1984 saw the acquisition of Great America, as well as the rights to the Looney Tunes characters, which the company still enjoys today. The company also started to manage Fiesta Texas in 1996. In 1998, Premier Parks purchased Six Flags Theme Parks Incorporated and brought a bunch of parks into the chain, including Frontier City, Adventure World, Geauga Lake, Darien Lake, Elitch Gardens, Riverside Park, Great Escape, Kentucky Kingdom, Marine World, and the Wallaby Parks in Europe. Premier Parks would add Warner Bros. Movie World in Germany and Madrid, as well as Reino Adventura in 1999, and by 2000 they assumed the Six Flags Theme Parks Incorporated name and rebranded a bunch of their parks with the Six Flags name. They already added Six Flags in front of Elitch Gardens, Darien Lake, Kentucky Kingdom, and turned Adventure World into Six Flags America. But now Geauga Lake was Six Flags Ohio, Riverside Park was Six Flags New England, Wallaby Flevo was Six Flags Holland, and Reino Adventura was Six Flags Mexico. And in 2001, Wallaby Wavre was renamed Six Flags Belgium. 2001 also saw the acquisition of SeaWorld Ohio and merged it with Six Flags Ohio to create the massive Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. And in the same year, they also signed the agreement to operate La Ronde in Montreal. 2002 saw Six Flags purchase the lease of Jazzland in New Orleans. I think it's fair to say that the height of the Six Flags empire was right here at the turn of the century. They were acquiring several new parks per year and filling them with coasters, not just family rides or clones. I'm talking about the biggest, fastest, loopiest, and the most innovative. There were 18 new coasters added in 1999, 22 new coasters in 2000, and 13 in 2001. 2002 saw 11 new coasters, and 9 were added in 2003. They slowed down significantly starting in 2004, only adding 4 new coasters, with the only major thrill ride being Superman El Ultimo Escape at Six Flags Mexico. So why the sudden change? Six Flags faced a growing debt by 2004 and sold off most of its European parks. They also decided that Worlds of Adventure, which they had hoped to compete with Cedar Point, was too expensive to run and sold it to Cedar Fair. This $345 million pickup helped relieve the crushing debt. Their debt was one problem. Their investors was another problem. 2 of their largest investors, which accounted for almost a quarter of the company, demanded change on the board of directors. This turmoil came around the same time that Hurricane Katrina destroyed Six Flags New Orleans, and the decision was made to close and demolish Astroworld. 2006 saw more sell-offs, with Frontier City going first, then Elitch Gardens, Darien Lake, and a few water parks. Magic Mountain was also in consideration, but ultimately remained with the Six Flags chain. Through all this, Six Flags slowed down the vast amount of expansion from the prior half-decade, but they were still willing to spring for the biggest and most innovative rides. 2005 only saw 2 new coasters in the chain, but one of them was the world's tallest and at the time world's fastest coaster, King Dakar. 2006 saw only 4 new coasters added, but they were all major thrill rides. 2 B&M Hypers going to Over Georgia and La Ronde, as well as the monster B&M Flyer Tatsu at Magic Mountain, and the world-class Intamin Prefab El Toro at Great Adventure. By 2007, the company was in big trouble. Their debt issues had come during a healthy economy, with the company's cash flow falling by an average of $120 million over the course of 3 years. The financial collapse of 2007 and 2008 was a death blow for the company, as consumer spending dipped even further, and by the summer of 2009, Six Flags filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. One of the casualties of this decision was the inability of the company to successfully renegotiate their lease agreement with the Kentucky State Fair Board, prompting the closure of Kentucky Kingdom for the 2010 season. Through all of this, 2007 to 2010 were some lean years for coaster expansion. 2007 saw a couple of Pandemonium clones go to St. Louis and Fiesta, Texas, and in 2008, 2 more went to Over Texas and Discovery Kingdom, as well as the relocation of New Orleans Batman clone to Fiesta, Texas, and 2 Dark Knight Wild Mouse clones to Great America and Great Adventure. The biggest addition of 2008 was the GCI Evel Knievel going to St. Louis. 2009 only saw another Dark Knight clone go to Six Flags Mexico and another GCI go to Magic Mountain as Terminator Salvation the Ride. 2010 only saw a relocation of the small wooden coaster Little Dipper go to Great America. Six Flags Entertainment Corporation emerged from bankruptcy in May 2010 with major changes at the top and a change of venue for their headquarters from New York City to Grand Prairie, Texas, right next to Six Flags Over Texas. With many of their financial troubles behind them, Six Flags seemed to take a different approach to the type of additions they would add to their parks. In 2011, Six Flags looked to a tiny operation in Idaho to take Over Texas's Texas Giant wooden coaster and transform it into a steel coaster. This was the first Rocky Mountain construction project. Six Flags definitely took a chance on this small, unproven company, but it would become a stalwart for the chain ever since. And more importantly for all Six Flags, these conversions didn't cost a lot of money. These range between $5 and $10 million, while a major coaster common to the Cedar Fair chain can run over $20 million. Six Flags added X-Flight to Great America in 2012, a $15 million B&M wing coaster which was the last major expensive original ground-up coaster they would add to a park in 7 years. And I'm not counting Full Throttle in 2013, since that came with just a $6 million price tag. 2013 through 2018 was dominated with RMC conversions and small-scale ground-up projects, S&S free spins, Justice League dark rides, pendulum rides, and Larson loopers. During this time, Cedar Fair was installing Giga coasters, inverts, dive coasters, GCIs, infinity coasters, large-scale RMC conversions, and in general, the additions were on a scale that seemed far outside what Six Flags would ever pay for post-bankruptcy. This isn't necessarily a knock. It seems that Six Flags has gotten comfortable with its identity as the discount chain. Let's take a look at the pricing over the years compared to the Cedar Fair chain. Single-day tickets are usually inflated since hardly anyone pays the full price for a general admission ticket. There's always some easy way to get a discounted ticket, so I'm going to compare season pass prices over the last 20 years. In 1999, a Six Flags Magic Mountain season pass would run you $80, while a Cedar Point season pass would run you $100. Both passes would get you into all of the chain's amusement parks. In 2004, the prices were the same at $90 apiece. But then Cedar Fair started charging a premium in order to get into all of their chain's parks. And in 2008, that Platinum Pass would run you $150, while the Six Flags Pass ran steady at $85. By 2018, the Cedar Fair Platinum Pass cost $210, while the Six Flags Pass is still $85. Over the last 20 years, the Cedar Fair Pass that gets you into all the parks doubled in price, while the Six Flags Passes basically remained the same price. It's not just the ticket prices either. Six Flags Dining Pass is around $80 and it gets you lunch, dinner, snack, and unlimited drinks on every visit to every park. If you add dining onto your Cedar Fair Platinum Pass, you can eat at all the parks, but you just get lunch and dinner without a snack, and the drink pass has to be added on for an additional $30. All in all, you're forking over $150 for the dining pass, which is almost twice as much as Six Flags. Six Flags does offer a more expensive option of pass in the form of memberships, and their highest level, the Diamond Elite, costs almost exactly the same as a Cedar Fair Platinum Pass, but it includes preferred parking, 2 skip-the-line tickets on every visit, 50% off all food and merchandise, and a bunch of other membership perks that Cedar Fair does not offer. In 2018, I hit most of the Six Flags and Cedar Fair parks in the US and Canada, so I had the Gold Six Flags Pass and the Platinum Cedar Fair Pass, plus the dining on both. It's become clear to me that Six Flags is willing to offer its guests a cheaper option, but you get what you pay for, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. They're appealing to the teenagers to come and hang out at the park for the day and ride some fun rides. Sure, they may be cookie-cutter clones or on the cheaper side, and they may not be Golden Ticket Award winners, but they're still a lot of fun. Cedar Fair is going to charge you more, but you're going to get a high quality experience. Each chain has clearly defined their niche. Six Flags didn't always have this philosophy. When they were packing their parks full of monster B&Ms and Intamins at a rapid pace, their pricing paralleled that of Cedar Fair, which was doing the same thing. But as every other amusement and theme park chain has inflated their prices over the last 15 years, Six Flags has not. And it seems to me after they came out of their bankruptcy is when they fully embraced their identity, starting with the risk they took with RMC to overhaul Texas Giant and capitalizing on that success over the next 7 years. There seems to have been a shift in 2018 into 2019 as Six Flags broke away from their predictable ways and announced West Coast Racers and Max Force, which are unique launch coasters being introduced to Magic Mountain and Great America, as well as reacquiring Darien Lake and Frontier City. They also have projects ongoing in China, Vietnam, and Dubai, which was actually recently canceled again. The chain is becoming ambitious again, and it'll be interesting to see if they have a better plan than they did last time they rapidly expanded. And with the new coaster war going on into 2020, we'll have to see if Six Flags will play it safe or if they'll join in on the fun. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree and what you think the future holds for Six Flags.